Good evening, I'm Christian Kaposy, along with my partners Chase Owens, Brady Ray, and our entire Green Hill Sports Network crew, set to bring you play-by-play coverage of Green Hill football this evening. Gentlemen, glad to be back here at Green Hill High School. I was at school at Belmont when the news of Green Hill opening came out. Just being a Mountain Juliet native, lived in Wilson County all my life. I was calling games at a school in Nashville, at a high school in Nashville at the time. And it just started, the news started to trickle out one by one about like the hirings of who's going to be at Green Hill. Mr. Dawson was named the principal. He was my assistant principal when I was at Wilson Central. Coach Crouch was named the head football coach. He was my freshman football coach at Wilson Central. And it even goes down to the audiovisual teacher at the time, Miss Deanna Duncan. She was the AV teacher at Wilson Central. So when all this news started to come out, and then we're right in the middle of the pandemic, you could see the writing on the wall. They weren't going to let a ton of people into games. So I just reached out and said, hey, have y'all thought about broadcasting for this upcoming year? And they hadn't had a plan at the time, so they just kind of gave me the reins and let me go. So along with myself, Chase Owens, who calls games with me for football up in the booth, and then Brady Ray, that's on the sideline. They've missed a game or two here. I've been at every single football game, and it's just, there are obviously groups in the area that cover games and stuff, but to the extent that that we cover Green Hill Athletics, we do every single home and away football game, every single home and away basketball game. Last year for basketball, we went to Florida, we went to Kentucky, home baseball, softball game. So 2 years in a row now, we've broadcast over 110 events total each year.
You know, coming from the sidelines, you hear the kids say, oh, well, he just made an awesome play. He's going to be the one that they interview at the end of the game. That's, to me, that's what matters, is they know that Christian and Brady and Chase it sometimes, they're there for the kids, that it doesn't matter where they're going, they're going to be there to support them. And when the kids see them, their eyes light up. It's like, oh, they're there. Who are they going to interview today? And it's just, the sideline gossip about that is pretty cool.
It's something I love, and walking up and down the bleachers on Friday nights, you can tell that people really value it too. I'll have parents stop and say, man, my mom lives in Indiana. She can't come to games, right? Lives a couple hours away. She tunes in every Friday night, right? She thought it was hilarious Monday night when Crouch said this on the coach's show, or whatever it may be. Or even, too, just seeing the athletes go back on a Monday during school and listening. What did he say? Probably what is the dumb thing he said when I scored a touchdown or whatever. Just seeing the value that has to those guys, right? And I tell every single person I come across that wants to do broadcasting or a student in the school, we make the big time where we're at.
For me, I have family that live out of town, and so it is perfect. It gives them the opportunity to keep up with the game, know exactly what's going on. I'll receive text messages from my mom at halftime or something. It's just, that's exciting that they can still be a part of everything that's going on here. And I love how professional Christian and Chase and everyone is, because and Brady, because you can listen to some of the other networks where we've had to, and it's a totally different. And I feel like that's another thing. It just sets a good standard just for our program and our kids. They really do bring it up to top level.
I got started simply by reaching out via email to administration here at the school, looking to get involved and be a part of the start of everything. And at that point, my buddies Christian and Chase had already got a handle on all that, but were willing to take me on board, and the rest is history. I had no clue who either of them were. It's funny, I'll remember when I got an email response back in the summer leading up to the start of the school year, they told me Christian was going to reach out, and if I remember it correctly, Christian called me while I was at home one day, and I missed the call by like 2 minutes. Well, I missed it on purpose. I typically don't answer a lot of numbers that I don't recognize. And then I got his voicemail, and I immediately called him back. He was at the beach, so yeah, that's what I remember pretty distinctly. But he called me and said, man, yeah, we'd love to have you involved. And we met when he got back to town, and we've become really good friends ever since. We spend a lot of time together, all three of us. Well, I think I got into it mainly probably because at the time Christian and Chase had already been a duo for a good while. So needing somebody, they didn't need me really up here, and where did I best fit in? And probably the sideline is the best. They're good. They're so good with the X's and O's and describing the game to our listeners. And I just like to bring that color, all that commentating down on the sideline, and then just kind of add a little flair and talk about maybe not so much always the X's and O's and just the other parts of the game. And being on the sidelines a blast for me, getting to kind of be in the huddles a little bit, see what the coaches are saying, how the team is on the sideline. I like the view. I like moving up and down on the sideline, getting to see things so close up from a different perspective that a lot of people in the stands and up here in the press box get to see it from. So it's probably the highlight for me. And you know, everybody's so welcoming on the sideline and the staff, so it's all good. It's just a lot of fun to be there every week. Yeah, generally, right, I don't know who I'm going to talk to till almost the end of the game. I think generally throughout the game we're watching for those players that kind of stand out, and in a number of ways we're always looking for somebody we don't typically get to talk to. So maybe that one player that doesn't have a major role on the team, at least up into that game, and then makes either one or maybe multiple plays throughout the game that are really important. And so I like to talk to those guys if I can, but generally that's kind of something that a decision made together as a group via text right there at the end of the broadcast, like who should I track down, and typically run it by coach as well. Like if I haven't talked to him before, for sure, like is this kid going to be good to talk to, and not necessarily are they good. Like everybody in high school, right? You don't expect them to be really great in front of a camera necessarily. The nerves are with them, right? But it's just more so like. Are we okay to? Are the coaches okay with us talking to them? So once we get approval from them, as to how we decide.
I've been with Christian going on like 7 years now. We did it at a school before Green Hill, and I've been doing the same thing with him through those 7 years. Just being his color commentator, he's our play-by-play guy, and me and him have just really been doing this for a while. So that's kind of where it all started, and now we're here. It's been really cool because I was a high school football player, but I went to a school that had been around for 14, 15 years at that point already, so traditions, things, practices, kind of everything was already established. And so kind of seeing how, somebody does it nowadays and in today's day and age where, not every rule is the same and not everything you do is the same, was definitely interesting just because, we literally got to see, I've got B-roll footage of doing projects in college of this school being built, just based on that. I've got, pictures and video of this field being put together. And so to experience that was really cool, and then to do it with a guy I've known since we were 14 years old was just awesome. We've been together for a long time now, and so to kind of get to do that together was really cool. If you look at it on that kind of like grand scale, it's very overwhelming. Just because how I described Jimmy on that Friday night running from the 40-yard in, like that could make his grandmother's whole week. She gets to tell her people all about that, so it's overwhelming if you look at it like that. But when you truly just break it down, and as me, Christian, and Brady are kind of walking out of here on Friday night, or walking in for that matter, it's really humbling to say, just because you never know what someone is doing or why they can't be here that night or whatever reason it is. And so we give them that opportunity, that vessel to see something that they might not have gotten to see, because you're only guaranteed 30 of these, and so you miss any one of those and it's immediately valued even more. So it's really big to not only to do it, but to feel that appreciation, because the Green Hill fans are really awesome. Yeah, it's it's like having your brother. We've been together for a while. We've been doing this for a long time, and so having opportunities where there are sentences that we can finish for each other, or we know kind of how the game goes, and we know that there are certain points where Christian is not going to stop talking, and then there are certain points where I'm not going to stop talking, and he needs to kind of corral me back in because we got more work to do. Our chemistry is definitely there. Something that I think Brady will tell you is that we get on each other's nerves as much as we do have a good time together, and so having somebody like that who can check me but also make sure that I'm doing my best job on Friday is really important for me, and I'm hoping it's the same for him, but he probably wouldn't say that.
Junior number 99, Luca Nash. At defensive end, sophomore number 50, Cole Raybird.
Week 3 of the TSSAA high school football season has two opponents meeting once more, and the last time they met, boy, was it a dandy. The Summit Spartans from Williamson County, Tennessee, have traveled here to Mount Juliet to take on the Green Hill Hawks, and you can see it all here on the Green Hill Sports Network. Waiting on the snap. There it is. Put down by NOJ. That kick is up, and the kick is good. Burrows back to pass. Summit with pressure. Screen left side to Owens. Nick with blockers to the 40. 45 down the sideline to the 50. And Nick inside Spartan territory down at the 45-yard line. NOJ picks it up off a hop on the 25. 30, NOJ near side, he's got room 35. Nick sideline 40, picks up a block to the 45, to the 50, inside Spartan territory, 45, 40. Motion Oliver, right side, play action. McElhaney back to pass, has time, hit as he throws, it is intercepted! Milner to the 30, Milner to the 35, he's got blockers to the 40, to the 50, down the sideline to the 40, and he is pushed out of bounds. Rushing touchdowns this season. Snap, Cannon works upfield, works into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Hill! Wobbly end over end kick will be touched at the 30, inside the 25. Summit still has not picked it up, and the Hawks have fallen on it! They have fallen on the loose ball inside the 20. A sliding save made by Will Butler. It'll be 1st and 10, Green Hill. Gun, snap, keep right side, follows NOJ into the end zone, hit at the goal line, and falls forward for a Green Hill touchdown. One of the weirder nights in the young history of Green Hill football, but in the end, the Hawks had a lead early, held on, and get this one to the finish line. They win it at home, 20-0, to advance to 3-0 in 2024 and prepare themselves for Region 4 6A play a week from now.